John Black, super chemist. Every Sunday we're doing this sermon under the playlist, Pastafarian Sermons. And this one is going to be titled God-Fearing Person. Okay. I want you to realize the difference between a Christian religion and or Jew, Muslim, whatever, compared to the Pastafarian religion. You always hear that expression from Christians. I'm a God-fearing Christian. I'm God-fearing. They're all God-fearing. Why are they fearing God? You know what I mean? Well, I know why. They fear him because their God, their fake God, is a horrible human being. I would be afraid too. When I was a Christian, I was afraid. You know what I mean? They believe in animal sacrifice, human sacrifice, rape, pedophilia, slavery, racism. You know what I mean? Racism for foreigners, racism for non-believers, racism for gays and trans. You know what I mean? Polygamy, female oppression, hell forever. Even if you're the greatest person in the world, you're going to hell if you just don't believe in Jesus and God or whatever, depending, whether you're Jewish or Christian. Either way, you've got to believe in God to get into heaven, right? Because he's really offended if you don't believe in him. But anyways, he has everything, but he's offended. No wonder these people are, and everything about their religion is about shame and fear. See, in a Pastafarian religion, we are not God-fearing people. We're not God-fearing Pastafarians. We're God-loving Pastafarians, okay? And the reason why we love our God is because, first of all, he's the only true God there is, right? That's number one. And number two is because we don't make up BS stories about God, telling about how they like slavery and they like, raping and pedophilia and all this other crap, racism. We don't talk crap on our God and then run around and tell everyone how they're going to hell if they don't believe in our God, okay? The Pastafarian God, the only true God, the only one true God, he doesn't care if you believe in him, okay? That's the last thing he cares about, okay? He's God. He has everything already. He don't need you to believe in him. He doesn't need anything from you, but he does want something from you. He wants you to be a good person, okay? And you don't have to be, Mother Teresa, I've said this many times, you just have to, and if you're disabled, that's one thing, but if you have an able body and an able mind, you should have a job or contribute some way to society, and the way you contribute is by being able to financially support yourself, okay? That's all you have to do. Financially support yourself, pay your taxes, live, and not hurt people and not be mean to people and not be a jerk or whatever. That's all it takes to be a good Pastafarian. That's all God asks from you. He asks us so little. You know what I mean? And he wants you to care about society, and to do that, you have to pick a good spouse. Because if you don't pick a good spouse, you don't have a good family. You don't have a good family, you don't have a good community. And if you don't have a good community, you don't have a good society. It's that simple. It's just that plain. You know what I mean? But again, because we're not Christians, we don't hate. We don't teach hate. We don't teach fear. You know what I mean? We don't teach these things. What we teach is love and acceptance. You know what I mean? You accept the gays and the trans. You accept, you don't hate. You know what I mean? And you don't spread these stories about, of course they're afraid of God when he's doing all this. I mean, you could be the best Christian in the world and the best Jew in the world, and in the Bible, God comes down and just does all this horrible stuff to you, sometimes for no other reason, just to prove it to something to the devil. Like, I would be so afraid if but in the Pastafarian religion, our God didn't do that, because we don't tell BS stories about how horrible our God is. Our God is great, okay? Our God is loving. Our God is accepting. You know what I mean? And let's see how much time I got left here. Oh, a lot of time. But that is why. So at least this sermon will only be 15 minutes. It's actually a very short sermon. But these lies. I don't understand why these other religions always make up these horrible stories about their God. See, that's the problem with these other religions. See, in those religions, God can do, and this is why they're afraid. This is why they're God-fearing Christians or God-fearing Jews, Muslims, whatever. Because their God is allowed to do anything he wants, and it's considered moral. If their God comes down and kills them, it's moral. If their God comes down, ties you to a chair and rapes you, it's moral because God did it. Their morals are dependent on who did them. Okay? In the Pastafarian religion, we don't do that. You know, if you rape someone, tie them to a chair and rape them, yeah, that's wrong. It doesn't. Even if God himself comes down and does it, it's wrong. Okay? God himself told me in a dream, and like I said, I don't think it's really God. I think it's just my subconscious portraying himself as God. But yeah, he says, okay, that, I lost my train of thought now. I hate that. That's why you should never do drugs. It takes away pot takes away your short-term memory and stuff. But anyways, we don't make up stories about our God, how he did all this horrible stuff and whatever. We believe that, God himself told me that if he would never do anything immoral, okay? That's what he told me. I will never do anything immoral. He says, but if I did do something immoral, it's still immoral. And if I did do something immoral, that means I'm crazy and you should stop following me. Or it's not actually me. It's another entity trying to pretend to be me to trick you to thinking that immoral acts are moral because I did it and I'm God. And most likely, if that happens to you, it's not me, it's somebody else pretending to be God. But on that off, even if it was me, even if it was God, that means it's still immoral. And you need to stop worshiping him because he's insane. Now he says that'll never happen, he'll never go insane. But if he did, you don't just say, and that's how you prevent humans from doing stuff in the name of God, even though it's the most immoral stuff. Like, hey, let's go over to this city over here. They don't believe in God. Let's kill everybody. Leave all the little girls alive, though. Kill all the little boys and the little baby boys and all the other people. And then the little girls that are left, we'll bend them over and see if they have a hymen. All the ones that are virgins and all the ones that don't have a hymen and they ain't virgins, kill, and then keep the little virgin girls as our wives. We will force them into our to marry us so we can rape them every day. Our God would never do or say any of that stuff. Okay. And so, and since God has told us that if someone does that and claims to be God, it ain't God. If some man says, let's go do that, let's go invade this other country here because they don't believe in God. God told me that they won't. He wants us to go over murder all of them people. He's lying. And if it's in the Christian faith, we don't really know if he's lying. Maybe God did tell him to do that because God does a bunch of stuff where he tells people to do horrible, horrible things that are immoral. But in the Pastafarian religion, see, if we were all Pastafarians, that same guy coming up saying, oh, God told me to do this immoral act, there wouldn't be any debate. We'd be like, you're lying. God doesn't, even if God himself does the act, it's still immoral, and we will not do that immoral thing. So you're a liar, and we will not follow you. But that's the difference between a Pastafarian. We don't go for that BS when people lie about God. It's all about, that's why this God-fearing thing came up, because people lie about what God did. He didn't do none of that stuff. He didn't do none of that evil stuff they have in the Christian Bible and the Jew Bible and the Muslim Bible. You know what I mean? There's no shame, no fear. You know, if you're not being an evil person, you don't. Why would you be afraid of God? He gave you all this universe, all this reality, your life. What more do you want from this person? You know what I mean? He's given you everything, and all you do is make up stories about how horrible he is and how he did this immoral thing and got this guy to do an immoral thing, and etc., etc., etc. What do you think's going to happen when you go to heaven? You think he's going to be like, you know, like one of the verses in the Bible says, if a man rapes a woman under certain circumstances, like she has to be a virgin, she can't be betrothed or anything to anyone else, and you rape her, then, and you get caught, then the guy can buy is forced to pay 50 shekels of silver to the dad, and he gets to take the rape victim, marry her, right? And then rape her every day for the rest of her life. And on top of that, she's going to have to do his laundry and, clean the house and make us food. So that's in the Bible. Literally, I'm going to do a sermon on it sooner or later. Okay? But in a pastafarian religion, we don't do that, man. Because it's evil to say, give the rape victim to the rapist, okay? Even if God says it, all right? And that's pretty much the whole thing. It's just, I just want everyone, what do you think's going to happen when you go to heaven? And he's going to say, why are you telling people the Bible is true or your Quran is true when you're literally telling people that I told people that they should sell the rape victim to the rapist? You actually told that? The Christian's going to be standing in front of God. He's going to ask him, why? Why would you say that? Why did you say that I told people to go into other countries and just murder everyone and then rape all the little girls because they don't believe in me? Why would you spread rumors like that about me? Why would you spread rumors saying that I can't forgive anyone, like humanity's sins, unless what? A third person that has nothing to do with it, Jesus, my son, is human sacrificed killed on a cross? That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. Stop making God into this evil person. He's not evil. He's good. Okay? He just doesn't interfere with stuff. That's all. You can't blame everything. That's another thing. Christians, everything that good happens, God helped me. God did that. No, God did not do that. Okay, first of all. And then everything that's bad happens. Oh, God, we have all this bad weather and no rain. Our crops are dying. And we do this stuff today, too. It's not just in the past. Oh, God must be mad at us. That's why your crops didn't grow because you didn't have any rain, you idiot. It had nothing to do with God, okay? Quit blaming it. God is basically a watcher. He very seldomly comes in and interferes with what's going on down here, okay? Very seldomly. Okay, we're talking like once every 1,000, 1,200 years, he comes down and he says, "I'm gonna maybe poke a little bit here and there, give this guy an idea," But anyways, just like Jesus Christ, and I'm going to do a video about this because pastafarians believe Jesus Christ was actually a pastafarian, and I'll get into why. There's lots of evidence in my mind that he was a pastafarian, okay? But he couldn't do much couldn't just start a religion way back then. He would have started stoning them. So he had to change the Jewish religion slightly. That's why the Christian Bible, the New Testament and the Old Testament, you could tell they're different gods. You know what I mean? The God in the Old Testament is evil. The God in the New Testament is still evil, but he's got a loving hand now all of a sudden. You know what I mean? He's more normal. That's because Jesus was a pastafarian, and he had to change things, but he couldn't change it all the way. So he did what he could just to, do that nudge. Now we're up to modern times. We need to, in another 100 years or 150 years, again, we're going to have to change things. Anyways, that's the end of the time. So you all have a great day and have a blessed Sunday.